So in the world of DSP, you certainly do have a lot of options these days. But if things like engineering and design being held right here in North America with support to boot is important to you, well then Arc Audio is clearly going to be your choice. Today we've got their product specialist, FRED LYNCH, in the studio with us, and we're going to break down all the great new features in the newly updated DNA platform. This is CMA Connected, brought to you by SiriusXM, all about Arc Audio, and it starts now. What's going on, guys, and welcome to another CMA Connected here on CMA Networks, brought to you by SiriusXM. I'm your host, Ben Wu. We are talking about DSP, three letters that mean so much in today's car audio world, because really, we can't live without it. But we're going to help you understand what are the offerings, and today in particular, we're breaking down a brand that brings a lot to the table, lots of unique features, some engineering, ingenuity, really, and some key features that only Arc can offer. Now, Fred, we got a lot to cover, but we're going to deliver to the viewers tuning in. We're going to cover new features on this new platform, but what else can we expect to discuss?
Hey, Ben, thanks for having me. Today we're going to cover just a few things here. One, we have the new DNA software coming out, which has got a lot of new expansive opportunities for the installers using it. Single platform, multiple DSP devices. It's everything that, basically what our installers have been asking for. But most importantly, we've also added some installer-friendly, user-based operations and features, not necessarily going to be loaded with a bunch of, call it marketing-based features that, people are going to claim innovation on and things like that. We're just going to do it differently to make sure that customers still have what they need, and the installers, most importantly, have that option to integrate these things in whichever way that they want, but still making sure that we're giving users the sound quality that they expect from Arc Audio, and that's what our platform's all about.
Always exciting, Fred, when you're on and we're talking DSP, but some key new features that we're going to go over so that when you guys tune in, you know what's coming down the pipe and how awesome this new platform is going to be. But first, an opportunity for our partner SiriusXM to remind you dealers out there just why you need to love it or should love it. And when we come back, FRED LYNCH and I were talking Arc Audio DSP.
Hey guys, Ricky Lima here from SiriusXM. I had a chance to speak to some dealers and ask them what they love about selling SiriusXM. Here's what they had to say.
Coast-to-coast coverage.
I love SiriusXM for commercial-free music.
It's a great add-on sale and a profit opportunity.
We love selling SiriusXM because you can listen to the same channel coast to coast.
Profitability and ease of installation. It's a no-brainer.
We love selling SiriusXM for its ease of installation, great profitability, and reliability.
People love it.
All right, welcome back, everybody. Let's get right in. So, Fred, we're talking DSP, we're talking Arc Audio. Of course, we're talking about the DNA platform. For those that don't know, that is the name of the software that Arc Audio has in place. New updates coming down the pipe. And one of the big key features about Arc Audio, and you've preached this before on previous episodes, Fred, is the fact that Arc Audio's DSP software is, in fact, open architecture. So help us understand what that means and why that is important.
That's a great question, Ben. Open architecture, there's a lot of different interpretations of that. And the reason why we use that term is for many, many years, a lot of DSPs, when installers would go put it into the vehicles, there would be certain features like channel routing, certain features and functions, which would only work on certain systems and certain applications with certain channel setup options. I still remember when, the days where DSPs were starting to come to fruition and people were really starting to get adapted to them. And the only option you had to set up a vehicle was a little picture of a car on a screen. And, okay, you still have your input and output. You say, hey, I have two inputs, but this is what my output channel assignments are. And, as far as, okay, not necessarily front left, front right, but, we had, this is a speaker. Yes, I have a speaker located up in the front left-hand side of the car. This is a speaker in the front right-hand side of the car. And it was really complex. We took a different approach on it when we came out with the original PSA, and it's something we still hold true to the family operation of all of our DSPs. And that is giving people just even that one feature is a huge benefit, because whether it's preset based, multiple device based, whether it's digital interface, coaxial, optical, whether you're using Maestro for OEM functionality, analog, high level, multiple analog systems, digital systems with navigation prompts from OEM systems, cell phone communication, auxiliary Bluetooth devices plugging into an analog input. Realistically, sky's the limit with the Pro Series DSP, because you have that ability to say, hey, my primary listening device, this is just one example. I still have the factory radio in there, and we have AM, FM, CD, stuff like that. But that also still has Bluetooth for cell phone. It has your navigation prompts and everything. But you want to listen to your music on your new nice, $2,000 high-end digital media player. You can take our device, you take our system and say, hey, this is what my channel setup is. Listen to all the music on the device. And whenever you get a cell phone call, the thing will natively be able to interrupt your music, and you can either soft mute or completely mute all your music. We have a customer in Europe right now that does a lot of RV production, and they use our hardwired trigger presets with this same open architecture design where, with the key turned on, you have front left, front right, rear left, rear right. But the second they turn the key off and they turn the system on for the home entertainment, they're using a different set of inputs. They're using a different orientation. So now what used to be rear left is actually now front left, and what was front left is now front right. So you can turn the whole stage and turn it sideways to where they can sit on the couch now and listen to their home entertainment system in the RV. This is the kind of open architecture design that we are looking for to deliver to our customers, and that we have delivered for several years now and are growing with the DNA platform. And it doesn't stop there. You don't want to stop at 8 channels. You can go 8, 12, 24, 36, 42, depending on which products you want to combine. You can actually parallel multiple devices with the USB technology on there and actually link them together with one piece of software. It's an exceptional platform, and it puts the power of the installation back into the hands of the customers, and also, most importantly, the installers.
Fred, when you explain it like that, the advantages of having an open architecture scenario certainly can bear fruit for many, many users and scenarios. Another interesting and very important feature to the new software is the fact that it has a scalable user interface. That's a very, complex term, but I'm sure you're going to be able to show us exactly what that means and how advantageous that is for the user.
No, and I definitely can, give some information here on why this is an important feature. Let's roll back a few years. I mean, software, that you have different brands of computers, you have different sizes of computers. You've got laptop, PowerBooks, netbooks. You've got everything from small little, in some cases, 9-inch screens all the way up to bigger screens. You have some guys that are using tablets in order to be able to tune their vehicles, depending on the operating system. And I mean, that's another whole ball of wax in its own. But the fact of the matter is software for many years on a lot of programs, they were written for literally one size device. Okay, hey, we have to build this software to work with a tablet. And some people would build it just to work with the tablet, and then you would have this huge area of unusable space on a computer that you can use for a lot of things, and vice versa. They might have written it for a computer, but then they want to go use a tablet, and half the software is getting cut off. These are things that we take for advantage, and you would think that it's not necessarily an important thing, but scalability to adapt to the device that the customers are using is something that's extremely important. Like I say, if you take a look at the DNA software on there, you can take any of the windows and change them to any size. So in this case, we can just grab the corner of the software here, make it any size we want. The windows, depending on what functions or features we're in, everything's in there, and this keeps it fully compatible for pretty much any device you can put it on. And that goes also with all the tool windows as well. So, I mean, if you do have a big enough screen with the resolution for it, like we did here, you can drop in the meters down here on the bottom. You could also turn around and add in the plot window. This just gives the installers the capability to be able to tune this thing and have an ease of use of tuning, have access to all these additional awesome resources that are available, and make it easy to use, even if it's on a tablet base, without losing certain features or having things hidden behind each other. Basically whatever you want. And then the other end of it too is there's guys that need more channels. Maybe they're doing a big system and they need more than They need more than 8 channels or 12 channels, depending on the device they're using. If we have down here, select a device, you can come down here. This is all scalable to where you have the opportunity to control more than one DSP. One of our demo vehicles, we've got 3 of the Blackbirds in it, and we can actually control all of them. We have USBs running to a hub, and it links the DSPs via the USB. And so now we have one connection from a hub into the computer, one piece of software. It controls everything that we're dropping into it. And that's something that makes a scalable interface extremely important for any user that's actually going to be sitting down and spending the time to tune these systems that are getting more and more complex.
So needless to say, Fred, when it comes to DSP, one of the most important applications of this is, of course, when it comes to OEM integration. So talk to us a little bit about the key features that are unlocked with this system when it comes to OEM integration and getting that sound connected with factory systems.
Yeah, OEM integration is something that's becoming a challenge for just about any audio manufacturer out there. For years, we did things like high-level converters, just SNI 35s and stuff like that, converting high-level signal into low-level. But as the vehicles get more complicated, they're integrating more things like post-processing, amplifiers built into the systems. And of course, the vehicle manufacturers are doing a great job of making our life difficult by incorporating more and more of the body control based vehicle operations like air conditioning, seat controls. I mean, you name it, depending on the vehicle, all integrated through the factory radio. So in some cases, you can't replace that factory radio. But the other downside with the factory systems is simply doing a high level converter off the back end of their amplifier. They have things like equalization, all pass filters, post processing, in some cases, some very weird algorithm based enhancements in these factory systems that for somebody who really cares about sound quality, they're looking to get rid of it. So what we've done is we've actually partnered up with the guys over at iDataLink Maestro with their AR integration technology. So we're a partnered product for them, which means that our product can directly communicate with the AR module, which is a translator for the OEM signal. Pull the factory amplifier out, use Maestro's direct plug and play harness, and so you can plug directly into our units. And as a result, now our amplifier can actually mimic and make the vehicle think it's hooked up to a factory amplifier still. But the cool part about Maestro is you have the ability to do things. Now we talk about what's the benefit to it. So I'll give you an example here. Here's a picture of what a OEM signal off of a Harley Davidson looks like without AR Maestro on it. As you can see, it's got a lot of bumps and curves. It's got a lot of peaks in it. There's also a huge crossover point right around about 95 hertz. The thing just dives off. There's also a bass enhancement built into it that a lot of guys in the Harley market, they've been fighting for a long time. People reprogram, USB sticks by these expensive programmers from Europe. Of course, the problem is you do that in the case of the Harley, you go back into Harley, they do a firmware update and all of that is gone. Now, in this case with AR, this is a shot of what the AR Maestro module looks like when it's plugged in. If you notice on here, it's perfectly flat 20 to 20. It gives you a 4-volt signal. It gives you that reference foundation on there. The best part is if you go back into the Harley shop, you're not having to reprogram, reflash, retune, everything on here. The AR module, use their T-harness, everything plugs and plays. Do it directly with like our PSM Pro, which is completely plug and play in a watertight case. And as a result, it's designed perfectly for the Harley Davidson market. And with AR, you now can get that feature function control, sound quality, and operation that you expect that people have been going to for, with aftermarket radios for a long time. Now imagine doing this in your Ford or your Honda or your Kia or any of the OEM vehicles. Right now the database is just so expansive on there, and there's cool things you can do like reprogramming some of the OEM functions and controls. One of our demo vehicles, our Ford Flex, we actually took the low frequency tone control and we've retasked it now to act actually as a subwoofer level control. We've taken the speed sensitive or speed compensated volume controls, and those have now been reprogrammed to work as presets, so you can actually control all the presets not just on one but 2, or in that case 3 DSPs to where they all work in unison off the controls. You can even retask the tone controls for the high and mid to become shelving filters, tone boost controls, and it's all programmable. But here's another really cool feature that's very exclusive to Arc Audio, and what we've done is solving one of the volume control issues that a lot of people have on OEM integration systems. Now, what you're looking at here is a piece of our DNA software, and what we're over here is on output DSP, but you're going to notice this panel called Maestro right here. This panel right here gives you the ability to retask the volume control of your system. Some of you might say, why is this important? Well, if you've been in this industry long enough and you've done an OEM integrated system, in some cases, let's just say we have a volume structure of 1 to 30, you go from 0 to 1. In some cases, in some systems, the volume's still too loud to even hold a nice normal conversation in a vehicle. Or God forbid, you got a big vehicle like the Flex or a Tahoe, Suburban, something like that, and you got somebody in the back, you can't hear them talk because of how loud it is. Or maybe you've got that system that goes up to 30 and you have to turn it all the way up to 15 before you can even hear anything. Well, some people just go back and turn the gains up, and next thing you know, it sounds like garbage. You got background noise and everything. You can simply come in here, readjust your maximum volume threshold, but this one here is the big one. And you can restructure and retask what the minimum volume control is. And what that does is change the sensitivity of the volume per step on the OEM control. The other cool part about this is from the dealer aspect. Say you have a customer that is a little too abusive or only knows maximum volume control, you can actually come in here and throttle back the top end of the system to prevent them from going into that next level of destruction of running it wide open, nonstop 24/7. These are all features and functions that are unique to ARC Audio, and this is part of what we're creating as far as the output integration capability. Currently right now with the OEM integration capability, we've got this standing in place with all the CAN bus control based and digital based systems. We cover the Hyundais, the Kias with them. So we are prepared for those digital input based systems that you'll find on those. We have what's called the iData digital OEM interface. So that plugs directly into our system. We also have, I think they're going on 500 or 600 different vehicle platforms, which are good here in North America, and we're finding out is expandable out to even other countries over in Europe, and they're doing testing down in Australia and Asia and stuff like that. So that's going to slowly grow as well. But we're also excited about the coming technologies for MOST and A to B, which is a huge benefit to anybody who's dealt with some of these very, very expensive integration module components. So you can get into your BMWs, your Mercedes, and the new Ford B&O systems. But the big one going into that we're excited about is being able to integrate it into Tesla. That's a huge opportunity for the Pro Series DNA platform and any of our Pro Series DSPs. But it is also a huge benefit for all the consumers that have been left in the dark with some of the more challenging ways to integrate audio into their systems.
That is an incredible partnership between ARC Audio and iData when it comes to the AR. And you know what? This just goes to show again the thought and engineering that goes behind this product and every product from ARC Engineering, actually. And on that note, I mean, I said at the top of the show, one thing that really makes ARC stand out is the fact that everything is designed and engineered right here in the USA. And that means a lot. And it also translates to the commitment this brand has towards sound quality. Fred, do you agree with this statement? And if so, please expand.
Absolutely, I agree with that statement. I mean, that's why we're in this industry. And honestly, that's why our customers and, well, the industry's customers are spending money on aftermarket components. They want better sound quality. They want better performance. The reality is music is a batch of music and emotion all wrapped up into one. And, it's funny, everybody thinks that, you have two parts to music, and that's sound quality and SPL. Well, the fact is music is made up of sound and silence, and that's something that we all appreciate, but it takes engineering to be able to do that. And, that reinstates our backing on the sound quality aspect of all the electronics we design. We design and engineer all of our electronic components exclusively right here in the United States. Robert Zeff, who's our head engineer, and his entire team at Nikola, they've been our bread and butter. They've been our backing. But being able to have that, as well as our engineering staff right here in our office too, and being able to offer that level of support that a lot of manufacturers don't have access to because they're using third-party companies or rebadge designs or third-party designs that are being done at ODM level or OEM level. It's a wonderful thing to be able to offer that support to our customers and still retain the fundamental core aspect of what our company is about, and that is sound. There's a reason why we're one of the longest running manufacturers out there still supporting sound quality competition worldwide. There's a reason why our front office is basically littered with trophies and awards from championships for the past 20 years. We were started as a company by enthusiasts and competitors. We're still run as a company by enthusiasts and competitors. And, that's something that's true to our blood. Robert made a comment years ago in regards to electronic design, because you could take 10 amplifiers, lay them out, listen to the same music, same power, same speakers, same environment. And unfortunately, a lot of them are going to sound different. One of the things he said is, sound should be transparent. And that's the way any design would be. And in this case, like if you look at an amplifier or anything with a gain of output like we do in most of our DSPs, it should be like a fine piece of wire with gain. You shouldn't hear the electronics. And there's a reason why we still get phone calls from people or emails from people, and they're talking about like, hey, we ran brand A for God knows how long, and we gave one of your products a try, and it just sounds better. We had a customer just last week, actually, a quick little story. Guy called us up, tech call. He's been running another brand for a while, a lot more power, and he got a deal on a used piece of product after somebody had wrecked their car, and he picked up one of our PS850s. Discontinued product now, lower power, but awesome solution. And he dropped it into his car, and he's like, I don't get how I've got this piece of product with less than half the power that I've had in my previous system. And the thing, my mid bass has come alive, my highs have opened up, and I haven't even started tuning it yet. Well, of course, the question I said is it possible that there were some tuning issues in the other one? So he went back and compared it again with the same exact settings on everything on there. And even still, he was blown away by it, just how much transparent, open, and natural the sound of all of our system is. But it doesn't just stop at sound quality. The fact is DSPs are computers. There's a lot of handwritten code in there for a lot of people involved in it, from the DSP chip manufacturer to the manufacture and engineering of our actual components, basically any of our Pro Series DSPs. The fact is we actually do all of our own DSP engineering as far as the hardware, the electronics, the software, the firmware, and making that piece what it is. A lot of manufacturers can't claim that. And we're also not going to claim that we're innovating DSP-based resources that are part of the DSP projects like other manufacturers do. The fact is we embrace those technologies in there, and we optimize them for the best sonic performance possible. And in this case, if there is ever an issue in it, by having our resources in-house, by doing our own software, by doing our own firmware, it gives the ability for us to respond to our customer and our dealers' needs quicker and faster than a lot of the competitors, and being able to make sure that we keep your product tip top with all the latest updates for the operating systems as far as the software goes, and make sure that if there is anything that was missed in certain applications, that we can get you back up and running as quickly as possible.
Well, now that we've taken the time to go through all the unique features and benefits when it comes to the ARC Audio DSP platform, let's talk for a minute about the hardware, because there's a lot of goodies here in the catalog that dealers and consumers alike can take advantage of. But I'll let Fred kind of break down what the offering is.
Yeah, the features and functions extend as far as the software and the interface, but ultimately it's the components that we have to put into the vehicles that really make the difference. ARC Audio basically has its fundamentals of its DSP based off of a couple different platforms. We have standalone, we have integrated, and then we have compact standalone. Or actually there's even 4, which is module. And what's the difference on it? So of course, we've got the integrated amplifier design. This is the Blackbird right here. This here is 1,000 watts of power on a 12-channel DSP. So you have everything right in here up in the front, in addition to a couple of 4 basically RCAs here that give you plenty of voltage to run out to an additional amplifier with dedicated DSP channels. This thing here is great. It's a great sound quality based piece. We actually have a couple guys competing with these things. Acoustically, it is a very solid design. It's definitely for those sound quality fanatics that appreciate the more the finite and audiophile based sounds that you're looking for in an aftermarket system. But in this case here, this gives you everything you need. It's a compact chassis, so you can hide it away. It's not taking up a lot of real estate. We also have the matching amplifier for it, or the supplemental amplifier called the Nighthawk, which is a non-DSP amplifier. Same chassis, so it's easy to use when you're putting into a vehicle. You can put one under one seat, one under the other behind factory panels. They're very, very efficient, so they're designed to work with the vehicle's charging systems without taxing the factory alternator very hard, and also, most importantly, not taxing the other electronics in the vehicle as well too. Another one that we have is our standalone. This actually is our standalone compact. This is our PSM Pro. This here basically is 8 channels out, 6 channels in. We also have a digital coaxial input on it. This here is a perfect piece for OEM integration too. Just like the Blackbird, the PSM Pro, the PS8 Pro, and all of our Pro Series DSPs are all Maestro compatible. This here was originally designed for the Harley-Davidson market, for all your 2014 and up Harley-Davidsons. Use this with the Harley HRN harness from iData Maestro, and use that with the AR module on here, and this actually becomes your integration platform with full DSP tunable control. This has all the bells and whistles tuning wise of the big DSPs, and gives you that flat signal response with AR coming out of the Harley Davidson radio. But let's say you have a car. We got a lot of vehicles that don't have the real estate for standalone DSPs or bigger amplifiers. If you're doing an OEM integration, or just say you want to add a DSP to an aftermarket radio, and say you're in an exotic where space is super limited, you can shove this thing up behind a radio. You can shove it behind the glove box up under the dash, run the RCAs out to whatever amplifier you're running, and just tons and tons of power. This thing is a dream as far as an installer goes with the features and functions, but it's all pigtail based. You can actually just simply unplug it, and at the same time, it's water resistant as well. So you can put it up the Harley fairing on here and be able to help minimize any impacts from water on this. We also have the PS8 Pro, which is our standalone 8-channel DSP. And then, of course, the other end of it too is we have our module-based DSP, which is our IPS 8.8. They all offer the same functionality as far as the features and functions go. The bells and the whistles and the tuning software, the scalability, the flexibility and integration. But with the IPS 8.8, that's simply a module that you can drop into any of our ARC series amplifiers. So you can take the ARC series amplifier from a fully analog-based 2-channel, 4-channel, or 6-channel design to a full DSP integrated design, minimizing the amount of cables, power connections, wiring, harness, cost, real estate, things like that you're taking up inside of a vehicle. Truly making a lot of these DSPs all based off of a space-saving opportunity. But right now, the Blackbird, if you haven't tried one, you've got to try it. This thing is hell on wheels as far as giving you the most you can actually get in the size of a chassis with the amount of power, and let your ears be the difference versus the competition, because it's truly, truly awe-striking with how great this piece sounds.
That was, of course, product expert FRED LYNCH, representing ARC Audio, joining us today. What a great run through of the new DNA platform, all the updates, and a quick overview of the hardware as well. Now, if you're looking for more information on any of the products covered on today's show, make sure you head over to the website, arcaudio.com, which is on the screen right now. Now, if you happen to be a dealer in Canada tuning in, then you need to know that their exclusive distributor happens to be Importel. That's right, it's time to talk to our favorite 12-volt Viking, Mr. Jaron Gelmalan. Now, Jaron, ARC Audio, obviously a huge staple for Importel, great partnership over the years. This new platform and software represents, man, I'm going to say the best there is, especially when it comes to ARC. How do you feel dealers are going to take to this, all these new updates?
Yeah, thanks, Ben. I'm your favorite 12-volt Viking. Does that mean there's other 12-volt Vikings out there? It makes me wonder. But no, this new software from ARC Audio, you guys saw the screenshots of it, the usability of it. It's just going to make an installer's job easier. And all the different tweaks and the abilities with the software to be able to change parameters, everything, input output settings. There's so much to the software that's going to make an installer's job easier, and at the end of the day, that's who's going to be using most of this is the installer, and they're going to be using the system. And if anything that they can do to streamline the process and make their job easier is definitely going to help them make money and make money for the store, and at the end of the day, give a customer great sound.
Now, Jaron, I know there are some die-hard ARC audio dealers out there who have found great success, not only from a business model, but delivering great sound to their customers. So having that feedback from these existing customers that you have, what message do you have for other dealers tuning in that might be considering ARC audio as a solution within the DSP category?
Yeah, my advice to dealers, or certainly the thing that I want to really push with ARC Audio to the dealers, is they're the best of both worlds. Not only do they have great software, great integration with the OEMs using Maestro AR and the power to integrate into those OEM systems. You heard it from Fred. At the end of the day, their goal is sound quality, and they're driven by competitors for people. So they know great sound. And yes, we have all these great features on the software that are great, but the sound quality isn't compromised or colorized with all these software features. They're still looking for that transparent audio output, as Fred put it, so that you're getting, at the end of the day, music. And it always goes back to music. It's what drives us. The music that the recording artist or the producer wants you to hear at the end of the day is what is getting produced in your car and what you're hearing. You're not hearing something that's digitally mastered and changed a whole bunch. You want to hear what is meant to be heard. And I think that's the biggest thing. And the biggest takeaway is the best of both worlds you're going to get with ARC Audio DSPs.
And lastly, Jaron, one of the biggest concerns that we hear when we talk to dealers is, DSP is one of those categories that requires a certain level of commitment, but also requires a certain level of support. How do you feel ARC Audio addresses this support when it comes to supporting their customers?
Yeah, certainly for support, ARC Audio is just great to deal with. I know I've had quite a few phone calls and I've had questions with Fred, and he's there to answer your questions and help you out in any way possible. And I think that's paramount for dealers when they're getting to know these products and learning the ins and outs of DSP. And it's a great resource to have. It's not a software that's designed by a third party and you talk to a tech support person and say, I don't know why it does that, or let me find out in 3 days' time when they'll answer me. It's hands-on, and they know the ins and outs of everything to do with their software, with their DSP. And that's just paramount in this industry.
I want to take this opportunity and thank my two guests today, both Fred Lynch from ARC Audio as well as Jaron Jalmalan from ImportTel. And in my closing comments, ARC Audio is an engineering company that is literally ingrained in developing product right here in the States, developing hardware, developing software, and that should mean something to you. It should mean something to you because that comes with a certain level of expertise and support and quick reactivity that Fred was alluding to. Now, on the software side of things, great new updates on the software. The scalability is certainly going to help you be able to tune whichever platform or device you choose to do it with, which is great. And the very big takeaway for me is the extent of which this company has gone over the top to incorporate partnerships, such as their partnership with iData, to be able to offer incredible over-the-top OEM integration solutions like no other. That's it for the CMA Connected, brought to you by SiriusXM. I'm your host, Ben Wu. Until next time, we connect.
There's never been a better time to have SiriusXM with over 150 channels in your vehicle. Your Platinum Plan offer includes more than ever before to enjoy online, on your phone, or at home. Create your own ad-free personalized stations powered by Pandora. Hear ad-free extra channels and enjoy favorite shows with SiriusXM Video on Demand. What you love is on now.